Hello, thank you for tuning in. I am Tom Zeppeveld from Graphileon, and today's video is about querying a graph using human language, which is automatically transformed into Cypher, but also about a new app that we released in the app library and that allows you to visualize the trigger execution in your application. So let's log on to our cloud instance, and there we will find, besides the default dashboard, there will be a second dashboard, the question-driven graph explorer. And on this dashboard you will find multiple components, which we will talk about later, but let's first ask the graph something using human language and then see what GPT-4 can return in terms of a Cypher statement, and then execute that Cypher statement. So we first are asking for a graph, and as you look at the Cypher statement, it's quite correct. The visualization, of course, probably it's better to do it organic. Our Y files for HTML-based visualization offers that possibility out of the box. The GPT generated Cypher also works when you request something which is more like a tabular format. So co-actors and then show titles and the age of the co-actors at the release date. That Cypher statement is a little bit more complex. But also this one, as you will see, it's quite correct. And if we then sort by actor, you can see that actually Meg Ryan, her age at the different 3 movies. You may have seen in previous videos about the question-driven graph explorer that you can also explore in a more controlled way. You can, for instance, bring a node representing a movie to the canvas, and when you select the node, a number of questions appear that are relative to that selection. So if I select a person, you have questions related to persons, and then you can also populate your visualization interactively. Now, when you look at this kind of application that is highly interactive, different actions trigger different reactions. There are calls made to the OpenAI API endpoints. You have panels on the left and on the right that react to each other. So sometimes to build something like this or to debug it, you really need to have a good visualization of what is actually happening. And then you really see how it pays off to store this kind of application logic in a graph, and that you can visualize how the triggers work between the different components. So that is why we started thinking about a new app that we have published in the graph, the app library, that is available through this button on the default dashboard, and it's called a trigger inspector. So the trigger inspector, it's a separate dashboard that uses your logging of your browser to extract trigger information. And it's quite a small application. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nodes that are linked to a dashboard. And you see now I have 2 dashboards. If I install it and I confirm, then I have an additional dashboard which is called Trigger Inspector, and that looks like this. On the right you have a text area where you can paste your logging data, and on the left you have a modus selector and a grid where you will see the triggers. Now on this tab I have opened my browser console, and I have filtered what is in the console for executing triggers, and so now I can copy that and paste it into this form. And then after having extracted the triggers, you will see them appear on the list on the left side. So in the mode show, it shows all selected triggers. So by selecting everything, you have an overview, but you can also select individual triggers, which gives you a better idea of the sequence and the flow of the application. You can see every time there is more information added to the graph of your application flow. You can also search for a given text string in the pattern. So for instance, everything that is related to the request function, you can see that some of the triggers are executed repeatedly, and by switching to the highlight mode, you can see that part of the flow in its broader context. Well, this is what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you have a better idea of what you can do with Graphileon and its graphy way of application building. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.